Hi, Dustin. Thanks for the opportunity to share some of my thoughts around supply chain and the recent presentation that I put together for the APIC South Florida chapter. Basically, I'm going to go through some of the answers that I have for the questions you posted. The first question being, what's my background? I have about 14 years of experience in the supply chain industry. I started way back as a chemical engineer for a refinery in India. Then along the way, I moved on to work for a chemical industry in Dubai, United Arab Emirates. Before I made my way to the United States, I came here to do my schooling. Since then, I've been fortunate to have got an opportunity to work in various distribution and manufacturing companies here in the U.S. And one of the things that sparked my interest is coming from an engineering background. I was well versed with computer programming, and in a manufacturing distribution environment, there was always need for data, being that U.S. had to compete with other countries with cheaper labor. Also, there was huge need for supply chain management systems, as well as someone with a broad understanding of how these systems integrate with each other and what are the financial levers and the financial levers that could be leveraged on so that they can opportunistically make things faster and cheaper in a more efficient manner. Over the years, I've implemented warehouse management system in various companies in US, UK, Canada, Poland, and in Germany. Also, I've been part of CRM, customer relationship management, and ERP solutions for some companies during my consulting days. Presently, I work for a company called Vitacost.com. We sell online vitamins and food products. We have about 40,000 SKUs. It's based out of Boca Raton, Florida, and that's where I live. Next, the question is, what was the topic that I presented recently, the APIC's Professional Development Dinner Meeting about 4 weeks back here in Florida. I was briefly involved with sharing my experience in one of my consulting assignments where I implemented a warehouse management system for a fairly large food distributor and manufacturer here in the U.S. and Canada. They had about 26 distribution facilities, 19 of them in the U.S. and 5 in Canada. Of that, 3 of those were manufacturing and distribution facility. So I had an opportunity to implement a WMS system, and that's the main thing. I wanted to share my background as to how this implementation went and what is a particular interest for the supply chain professionals when you go through a fairly large implementation along these lines. And I think that kind of coincides with the third questions you had. What is that supply chain professionals got out of my evening of sharing about how do I help creating a center of excellence for this client. First of all, the warehouse management system had a specific objective, what they wanted to achieve out of it. One was lot traceability. Being a food distributor here in the U.S., after Bioterrorism Act 2002 was passed, they had to have a good lot traceability to know exactly what kind of raw materials from which supplier went into the food product, and being the distributor side of it, which customers got these products. This company was involved in B2B, so there was a business-to-business transaction. Also, the company was very interested in FIFO rotation of inventory, first in, first out, so that they never had a rotation problem, but with a system like this, they wanted to ensure that they could tap into the potential of making sure the FIFO rotation was happening. Inventory accuracy, they wanted to ensure the inventory is accurate between their different various systems, ERP being the financial inventory system and WMS, the warehouse management system. No one likes to do physical cycle count, so along the way, the WMS had to make sure that the cycle count was done year-round using strategies like ABC cycle count or cycle counts, opportunistic cycle counts, to make sure the inventory was fairly accurate between the two systems. They also wanted to look at optimizing labor usage. Being in North America, one of the challenges is that labor is very expensive. Then you have to compete with other countries, South American, Asian market. So I think a lot of the investment was also geared towards how do we optimize the labor usage, not to reduce the body counts per se, but it is to be more efficient so that they could know what was the real cost to manufacture X pounds of finished goods coming out of their lines. They also wanted to have increased responsiveness to customer needs and market dynamics. Food, like anything else, is very cyclical. Certain kind of foods go well in western part of the United States to the eastern part of the United States, and certain food products sell well during Christmas, holiday season, or certain sell well during the summer months. So they wanted to understand those customer dynamics. Also to have a collaboration, knowledge sharing with their various vendors so that they're not buying too much or too less, and making sure that they had enough inventory available in them. The implementation was about $5.5 million worth of implementation. Took us about 3 years to get through all 26 locations. And some of the challenges right from get-go was various languages. North America being especially in the distribution side, in the southern part of the United States and West Coast, like Los Angeles, Phoenix, Dallas, Houston, Florida, we have a significant Hispanic workforce available here, Spanish-speaking workforce. So the system had to be in bilingual here in the U.S., at least English and Spanish, so that people could understand clearly what the instruction the system was giving. We did have a voice-directed picking to ensure further refined, streamlined picking processes, what they call as the hands-free picking, to ensure that inventory was picked in the right format. Also in Canada, especially, one of the province was a French province, so the language had to be French and English. So that was quite a bit of interesting to figure out how to get this, how to get our training materials all in 3 different languages and get the message out to the floor. Also, when you have a fairly large implementations like this, you have to work with a bunch of different consulting companies and independent consultants. So that was a challenge to kind of work through those details. Also, this project was leveraged on having offshore resources. So that's another challenge we ran into, was how do we figure out follow the sun approach. Basically, our offshore partner was based out of India, the IT partners. So there was about 10 hours difference between US time zone and Indian time zone. How to coordinate that, making sure that the work productivity is good, as well as the good quality of information was coming up. After we went through this WMS installation, like anything else, it goes through a period where there is a learning curve. After that, the system stabilizes. The company found lot traceability, the main objective of the project. Lot traceability improved significant and considerably. It went very well. The FIFO rotation of inventory was pretty good. Inventory accuracy gained by 30 to 40%. Labor usage was additionally, they were able to get more out of the existing workforce by about 20%. And I think with the amount of data that got collected with these kind of systems, one of the things this company was able to realize was how to streamline the KPIs based on the data they got out of the system. Also, look at opportunities to use root cause analysis and 5 Why to share best practices across the various distribution centers. After the presentation went through these sharing that information, it did stir up a lot of good, productive conversation between various participants in this dinner meeting. A lot of people have shared about how their installations have gone, or how some of the challenges they run into, and it stirred up some productive conversation. Overall, as a presenter, I found very good and engaging when the people who are present in the meetings, such as these, kind of start sharing their details and how they are facing various challenges. And it was overall a very productive and a good evening. About 25 people turned up, and they had some great conversations on some of the challenges, and a few people did appreciate the information I shared with them. I hope I get to come back to your blog more often and share some of the work that I'm trying to do. Also learn some of the stuff other people that you have been interviewing or reviewing about, so we can share more information to create a very customer-oriented supply chain along the way. Thanks, Justin.